Hi everyone, this is the review retro for Sprint 148 and the forecast for Sprint 149 for SugarLearning project. The Sprint goal was to set up the Azure China deployment pipelines for SSW identity. This was not achieved. This was a 1-week sprint, attendees as listed. There were 174 hours billed. People who worked on this project: Jim, Ozair, Baba, Tino, Tom, myself. In terms of the work done, the initial deployment of SSW identity to China has been done. However, additional work needs to be done to create the permanent pipelines. There will be further details covered in the forecast. The bug for the admin module has been fixed, for searching the admin module has been fixed. The YouTube investigation to fix YouTube API exception has been done. And
Sorry,
just briefly,
what's that one?
The videos.
The YouTube one, what's that about?
This page that you're seeing on screen was not displaying. It was showing the broken eggs. We have a fault page instead. Okay. So as you can see here, it is now displaying the root cause. The SugarLearning channel had more than 50 videos.
Right.
Public.
Okay.
We have also successfully completed the recently viewed edited items displayed widgets and provided a limit of their results to 5. So displaying once more.
Yeah.
See here, we now have popular items, recently viewed items, and recently updated items available from the user's backlog.
Nice touch.
There was also some infrastructure work. There was consideration given to editing the rule outage. Do you have an unplanned outage process? This was found to be not necessary. Instead, there will be a rule written for the conduct of blue-green deployments. Monitoring of the site was done, and there was a documentation update to improve the installation instructions.
Just a question on the monitoring one. Is that spending a day like looking at the most frequent errors and fixing them, or is it just like figuring out, like just having a look at it?
A bit of time every day, having a look at the logs and determining, are there faults turning up in the logs? And if so, what do we do about them?
Okay, so in this case, Ozair, was that you doing that this week?
Yes, I was doing it.
And did you fix any bugs? Or
I created a PBI for a bug.
Okay, all right. So, but it's not a day's work, is it? Like
across the course of the week, it should roughly correspond with a day, but it's very hard to determine ahead of time what's going to fail and why.
Right. Okay. Cool. So we guess it today. All right. I guess I'm just trying to work out if that's just looking at reports or if that's actually creating either PBIs or fixing those PBIs.
It's looking at reports and typically creating PBIs.
And then those will get pulled into future sprints. Okay. Cool. Makes
Correct.
sense. Thank you.
The remaining work will be discussed in the forecast.
Okay. They're all re-estimated already?
Yes.
Good. Okay.
In terms of the sprint burn down, 51%, 7 commits.
Cool.
Code coverage remains constant at 24%. There were 3 deployments over the course of the sprint. Failed requests have decreased from over 1,000 to 664, which is our long-term normal.
Okay.
Total unique users have increased from 111 to 117. authenticated users have decreased from 66 to 64. So relatively constant.
That's strange. So we have unauthenticated users?
Yes, just normal people accessing the site for whatever reason.
As in, is that the public website?
As in,
or?
no, this is SugarLearning itself. The individual items may be public if they're directly accessed.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay, cool. So people who click on those links that we send out in emails or whatever, but then don't log in, I guess.
Correct. In terms of the epics, we remain constant at 77% done for the Chinafy branch migration.
Okay, so no change. There were 2 PBIs for that, but neither one got finished. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
There was no experimental work conducted. In terms of the retrospective,
With the experimental stuff, I think we need to try and look for something because they later on, when they're going for the R&D grant, this is how they get it. It doesn't need to be particularly experimental. It can be kind of fringe experimental.
unfortunately, the main thrust of our work right now are the migration for the Chinafy branch and the EF core migration, and neither of which are particularly will get us even near that edge.
Right.
This is comparatively mechanical work.
Okay.
In terms of the retrospective, so the trending items widget is up and running.
That's actually a good point. So that was an item that came along in brainstorming. Do we need to tell anyone, like the people who were in that brainstorming team or anything like that, that this is done? I feel like we should.
Tom?
Is Tom here?
Yes, I am. Can you repeat that again? Sorry.
So the thing you did, the brainstorming feature that's now
Yeah.
live. Can you tell the people who were in that brainstorming team that it's done?
Yeah, it's just Joffrey and me.
Oh, well, there you go. That's easy. Okay. Well, can you tell Jeffrey then?
Yeah.
Lovely. Thanks. And maybe ping Brady and Pierce about it too, because I don't know if we have some process for telling the company when brainstorming stuff goes live. I think we might. Okay, so Pierce and Brady.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Following on from that, the team noted Tom's very efficient done video. And Jim Bava, the SSW identity is up and running in for SugarLearning China. It's just a case of us getting that pipeline properly established.
Okay, and that's a blocker for the rest of the merging, isn't it?
For the rest of the Chinafy work, yes.
Yeah.
So what didn't go so well? There was a little bit of excitement when deploying, when doing the deployment for SSW identity on Friday night. Some of the credentials had expired. So the team is grateful to Warwick for coming in and updating those credentials.
Cool.
As for improvements, it was noted that PBI 91735, that is the
Pipeline.
It's the pipeline, yep. Was remaining very large and had 3 people working on it. So for the forecast, we split out some of the work for it. Are you happy with the review and retro?
I am. Let's get to planning.
In terms of planning, so this is sprint 149. The priority is to establish. Yep. It's a 1 week. So we will be meeting again on the 25th of June. Attendees as listed. This is the top 3 items are for establishing the pipeline on a permanent basis. We are also fixing bugs. First one, navbar layout issue on mobile devices. If you've opened SugarLearning on a particularly small phone, you may see some layout problems where the actual box of the site is offset.
Right.
We have a bug that was detected through the monitoring. This is to investigate the type errors that we're seeing in logs. And then we have items remaining undone from the previous sprint, ensuring that dealing with the archive, ordering, handling of time within the back end, resolving warnings for Octopus deploy, and setting up alert on site usages for the China branch. Do you have any further questions?
Normalized server date time usage. What's that about?
This is about the way that we actually store the date time information on the back end. So it was noted a few sprints back that there are inconsistencies in how time zones are being handled.
Mhm.
So to harmonize that, this is a refactor that was requested for it.
Okay. All right, cool.
Right.
So how many of these items are to do with the Chinafy epic?
We have these three. Sorry, correction.
Yeah, top three. Yeah.
Top three, and this one.
Okay. All right, cool.
The intention is to upload the recording of the meeting here. Gentlemen, see you next week.
Thank you very much.